Hi, this is Faith, and you are watching The Faith Factor. Holla. Whew, hey everybody, this is Faith, and you are watching The Faith Factor. What's going on, Mella? I see the architects in the house. Hey, what's up? Oh, y'all, I got insomnia. I can't sleep. It's only 10:43 over here at Phoenix, so it's not too late where I'm at. But if the rest of you are on the Midwest coast or somewhere like that, I want to know what the hell are y'all doing up? Because it's got to be almost 1 o'clock in the morning where y'all at. All right, y'all. You know what? I was thinking a whole hell of a lot about the previous last stream, not the one I did about Christian rock, but the live stream that I did regarding the it not being a flex to marry, at an older age. And the reason I was thinking about it is because from time to time I check my comments, I check to see you know, responses and stuff like that. And there was a real interesting back and forth between me and one particular lady. And she was just basically, going into the comment section saying things like, well, I'm gonna have to give a little pushback, Faith, because I think that it's a good thing. It's harder for women to marry when they're older. So because it's harder for us to marry when we're older and not every woman can pull it off, it's easier to marry when you're younger because, you're prettier, you don't have as much baggage, blah, yada, yada. And she's right about that. She's absolutely right about that right there. So I can't, take that away. But what I will say is, um, being married in your prime is still better than waiting until you get old. And here's why. You're not, it's not, see, everybody is looking at it from the point of view of the woman getting old. But it's not just the woman that's older, it's also the man that's older. And see, I don't know if any of you have noticed, but when you hit 35, you're middle age basically. So you've done some living. So imagine you're 40 and 50 talking about, getting married. Well, okay, here's the thing. You're meeting people who have lived the same way that you have lived. So you don't have the advantage like you were when you were younger of possibly meeting up with somebody that's starting over fresh, just like you. Now you have to deal with people that done lived, they done had children from previous relationships, they done had oopsie babies and all this other stuff. And men can, procreate well into their 60s. So you might be running into a 50-year-old with a 2-year-old. Just like the other day, I ran into a guy and I think he's 51. He's older than me. And he has a 2-year-old daughter that he's taking care of. And mind you, like, these guys are desperately looking for the best caregivers. Like, once they get to be that age and they start doing dumb shit like having babies at an older age, and these women, let me just tell you about these women now. These women are giving these kids to these men now. So now I have seen a whole bunch of single papas out here raising kids by themselves. Or, you'll have some single daddies out here where they got the sons. The mama done handed the sons over to them at age 12, 13. So now you're dealing with that. And see, for me, I done raised my kids. You know what I'm saying? I'm ready to just be chill, have me a little guy to chill with. I don't want to go back into the whole re-raising of the children and all that other stuff. I don't want no man that got medical problems. That's the other thing too. Like when you're dating over 35, and especially when you start getting into the 40s and the 50s, especially that age, ladies, you're meeting these guys in their 40s and 50s and they got health problems, and these guys are dropping at 50. Like they done lived. So like when you're dating past the prime, you're getting people with medical baggage too. Not just, they done had, whole families that they done created, but they done racked up a whole bunch of medical, shit with themselves because they didn't take care of themselves when they were young. So now you got these older guys out here and they got all types of issues. So now they're looking for a nurse with a purse. Shout out to, I forget who that was. I think it was either Cerebro or it was somebody that came out with the term nurse with a purse, but I like it. So, when I say that getting picked last is not a flex, that's what I'm talking about. Because like I said, when you're first on the dance floor, you're in your prime, you're with people that's starting out just like you. You don't have to worry about that sort of stuff unless they just messed up young. And even then, you can weed that out easily. But when you're older, some of these people done, started lives, they done started marriages that they done got out of. And then here's the other thing too, the divorcees. When you're dating past 35 and you meet a guy and he is a divorcee, if he did not initiate that divorce, that means that he got divorced and he didn't want to be divorced. So you got to deal with the mentality of that nigga right there that might still be in love with his ex-wife. So, it's a lot of nuances, to dating while you're older and, getting picked last. And, I never understood why people thought that was a flex, because it isn't. And mind you, I admire people that go into these marriages at an older age. I encourage extended families or blended families. I encourage it actually. Because I do believe that people that have children need to get with other people that got kids. I mean, let's just be realistic. So, I'm not saying that it's a bad thing, but I'm also saying it's not a flex. It's definitely different, than being fresh and starting out with somebody brand new that don't have all them problems. So, when we think about, finishing last, we always think about the woman, but we don't never think about that man. Ladies, marriage, in older age, the only thing that it does for us is it just gives us a title. But men, when they get older, they really, really benefit from being married. They do. Because they're going to look for somebody that's going to help them out with things that they don't want to do, that, has historically been passed on to a woman to worry about. So if they're, having aches and pains and ailments and things of that nature, they're looking for a woman that's going to be the best nurturer and caregiver for them. And it's not going to be all, fun. Like you're not getting a guy in his prime where he's young, youthful. He can, swoop you off your feet and, do all this fun stuff. Like when me and my husband got married, we were like young. I remember we used to be playing with each other at the bus stop, when we were young, because we met at work, and we were both just starting out. And I remember he used to swoop me up off my feet real easily, and we would just be running and playing like little kids. babies, and we didn't have a care in the world. There was no baggage. But when you get older, you started noticing that you don't have that carefree mentality anymore. And the guy that you're getting with, well, you're rubbing lotion on his back every night because he got aches and pains. He got old man aches and pains. So you're in more of a caregiver mode when you're older and you're with these older dudes. And some of them do come with kids that are kind of young because they're still out here making babies, and they damn near 50, damn near 60. They still out here making babies. So while you have stopped and your kids are older, this nigga's still coming in here with these little tiny baby things, and he old. He don't want to be bothered with them. So he gonna try to pawn that shit off on you. I'm just gonna I'm gonna take the game full circle for some of y'all, because some of y'all be sitting up here just so blinded by the offer, but you're not really looking at what is he offering you. And so for a lot of you, you're going to be caregivers and you're going to be babysitters. And there's nothing wrong with that, but I want you to understand, go into it with your eyes open. Go into it with your eyes wide open. Now, if you don't mind that, if you don't mind, being the caregiver, being the babysitter, that's one thing. But if you know deep down within your soul that you don't raise your kids and you don't want to do no caregiving and you don't want to be no babysitter or none of that type of stuff, don't get with none of these old dudes that are set up here and had these oopsie babies. Yeah, Mella, oopsie babies. Because that's what they gonna try to do. Like I said, I ran into a guy and he's like 51 years old and he got a 2-year-old. And he was sure enough he was like, ooh, I remember what a good woman you was. And see, when they start talking about what a good woman you are and all this other stuff, and they hyping up your attributes, what they're really saying is, you are the prime candidate to be a caregiver to me and my kids. That's what they're saying. And see, love may be in there here and there, like you spend enough time with somebody, you get used to each other, love may develop. I'm not saying that love isn't there, but I want you to open your eyes and understand that they hunting down the best caregiver. And so I've noticed a lot of women my age and older, especially since Black women, we do settle down much later in life, especially those of us who are educated or who have jobs that, we earn a lot of money. We settle down in our 40s. That's about the average age for, the working or educated Black woman. So when I see these women marrying, I'm seeing a lot of us becoming stepmoms. It's more of a thing for Black women to, become stepmoms, and we will with open arms embrace that man's kids, and we will take on that role with pride, and we will flash our ring in front of everybody, and we'll be like, the Suge Avery icon that I have up here. Let me go ahead and put that up there. We happy. We married now. We done made it. We made it. But we got to take care of his kids from previous relationships, and we have to nurse him because he didn't take care of himself quite well. And it's just a lot of stuff. It's a lot of shit that you got, a lot of baggage, and we don't think about the man's baggage. When we're online in these online spaces, all we ever talk about is a woman's baggage. All we ever talk about is this woman, she's a baby mama. But if the woman is in her 40s and close to going into her 50s, if she was a baby mama, she was a baby mama probably about 20 years ago and her kids are grown and she most likely ain't having no kids. You the one that we got to watch out for with the outside kids that's like 2 and 8 and 9 and all of that. It's actually you niggas that we got to look out for with them small kids. Cause when a woman is dating in her 40s, she done probably had all her kids young. And so she ain't got them problems. Now you got the outliers here and there that might have, a 8-year-old or a 9-year-old here and there. You got those. But for the most part, when a woman is like in her 40s and her 50s and she's out here in the dating market, her kids are grown and she don't want to be bothered with no more kids. She's glad to, finally have her freedom. But ladies, we do throw away our freedom for the sake of having that title. A lot of us will gladly throw it away just to have that title. And a lot of us go into these marriages basically on our knees. Because some of you just want to experience the walk down the aisle and being able to say, my husband. So you go into these marriages on your knees, basically, making the plea for why you would be the best wife this nigga ever had in his life. And you will accept him with all his baggage just to have a title. Because I'm telling you, he's going to get all of the benefit of having you as you crawl into that marriage on your knees after you done demonstrated to him that you're going to be the best caregiver and the best babysitter. That's basically what it is. You're going into the marriage on your knees. So I don't want anybody to ever be delusional about what it is. When a lot of these women come online and they're flashing their rings and they're going, I'm married now and I'm happy and all of this other stuff, they might be. That woman might be happy, but every woman not going to be happy with that situation. And I want each person before you make that decision to make sure that that's a situation that you can deal with. That's the reason why I say, there are some women that are happily single for this reason. And see, I don't think anybody has ever broken down the real reason why a lot of women are happily single. Because, see, you guys don't know how to articulate it and you guys don't understand what station in life you are in. A lot of us that are middle aged, we're at a station in life where we're kind of set in our ways. We have lived. We've already been married, some of us. We've already been divorced. Some of us have been widowed. And some of us have raised children up into their 20s. And now our kids are out the house. We're just happy to, not have that over our head anymore. And we are just ready to enjoy worrying about ourselves for a change. And this is the reason why a lot of women in their 40s and 50s can say, and I'm just saying this, they can say with all honesty that they are happily single. Because if you look at the men that you have available to you after this age, that are also in your age bracket, because most of the time you're going to want a guy that's kind of within your same age range. The guys within your same age range, even if you go back, they're going to still be over 30. So you're looking at guys that got kids. They either had, divorces or, hangups from past relationships. You got, guys with a lot of baggage. There's a lot of bargain bin, shopping going on out here because everybody got a pass. Everybody done lived past the age of 35. So I can understand when, a woman comes online and says, shit, I'm happy being single. Because look at what you got to deal with if you do decide to indulge in a relationship or get married. The guys around your age are older, and you both sitting up here rubbing each other's knees. You got arthritis now. He can't just swoop you up off your feet. Y'all not running and playing. He got little babies, kids still that he was making from previous relationships. It's a bargain bin, everybody meet at the wall type situation. So, when guys sitting up here talking about, these women then hit the wall and got old and, past the prime. Well, guess who also is at the wall with you? And this is the part that don't get told. But also at the wall with you is these bargain bin niggas that done lived. And so now, this is what I was saying in the previous stream. When I said being picked last is not a flex, because usually the kids that are picked last, they either had a problem running, they had a problem catching the ball, they had a problem batting, hitting the ball. So there's problems towards the end. So towards the end, when you were dating out here past your prime, you're meeting people that have health issues, financial issues, or they're sitting up here with all these goddamn kids. And so now you got to decide whether or not you can deal with it. What's up, D? D the Rail in the house. I love me some D the Rail. He had a real good live stream earlier too. I caught some of the replay. So, I wanted to come up here tonight and just really have a real conversation with you guys without any malice, because I don't feel one way or another, about somebody's marriage. I really don't. But I don't like when people come on here and they're not fully, telling you the truth and giving you what your options are. Now, if you are the type that's a nurturer, you don't mind you being a caregiver, you don't mind a man that got kids and all of that, more power to you. And there's some women that make the best caregivers and the best babysitters ever. And those are the women that are going to get picked later in life. Because it's not all about love. It's all about, can this person help me with my situation? Type thing. Now, when you're younger, and you don't have the baggage, you don't have the kids, you don't have the health issues, your fresh is so much better because you grow into old age together, and any baggage that you created it together. So, when people be sitting up here trying to spin this narrative that is all the same, Faith is going to tell you the truth. And see, the truth sometimes is hard to swallow, but it ain't all the same. There's a difference between you meeting somebody when you're young and in your prime and y'all growing together, and those kids, they all got y'all made together. There's a difference. And then you meet somebody after your prime, after you've lived, after you've had marriages that didn't last or other relationships that didn't last, after you've had numerous children with other people and all this stuff, after you racked up the healthcare problems and psychological issues and PTSD and all that other stuff, after you've lived and racked up all this baggage, people talking about dating and marrying past the prime, it is not what it's cracked up to be. I'm gonna just tell you, I'm gonna be honest about that shit. It's not the same. On the one hand, before the prime, you're fresh, you're new, you got a fresh start. Past the prime, y'all done lived, y'all done racked up some baggage. It is not a fresh start. So the two is not the same. And that's the reason why in the last live stream, I said it's not a flex. It really isn't. If you can get picked in your prime, and that stuff can last for a lifetime, that is like the ideal thing to happen. Like D. Darrell, he's a married man, and he got married in his prime. Him and his wife been together numerous years. I don't know exactly how many, but I remember him talking about it before. And him and his wife been together a long time. That those children that they have, they made those kids together while they were young. While they were both young. Same thing with BMT. BMT is still young himself. He's just made it into his prime, but he made it into his prime with his current wife that he met while they were both young. And those children they got together. So whatever baggage you have, you created it with each other. So that's the difference. Oh, damn. D. Darrell has been married for 19 years. See, this is what I'm talking about. So you met your wife when you were in your 20s. So D. Darrell, you were probably straight out of college when you met your wife. And that's what I'm talking about. That it's a difference. But when you're meeting somebody and you're like 40, like imagine if you're 40 and you've been married and you've raised your kids are grown, then you meet somebody else, but they got a 2-year-old. And I'm not going to want to do that again. You see what I'm saying? I'm not trying to do no raising no kids no more. Now, some of y'all might not have a problem with it, but I'm just saying a good majority, oh, hell no. A good majority of y'all, if y'all be honest with yourselves, y'all not trying to start over at 40. And that's what it's like. When you get married at that age to somebody and they've already lived and they come in with that baggage, it's like starting over, especially if they got them kids. Shut up, BNT. BNT coming up in here. I was just talking about you and Melissa. D. Darrell has been married, I believe, 19 years. Oh, he said he actually dated her in high school. Wow, you met her at 16. See, that's what I'm talking about, D. Darrell. You were both young. I bet y'all were playing and you were sweeping her up off her feet, because that's how it was with me and my husband. When we were young, we were playful. We had our whole lives ahead of us. Now, I don't know how long BMT and Melissa have been married, but BMT is just now making it into his prime. But he made it into his prime with his young wife. And so whatever baggage that they built up, they built it together. Same thing with D. Durrell. But when you date past the prime, like I said, I met this guy not too long ago, and he was trying to talk to me. He 51. 51 years old with a 2-year-old. I'm 47. I'm not trying to do no getting into no relationship with a man with a 2-year-old. You know, hell no. And then he was going on and on about what a good woman I am and stuff like that. And see, ladies, this is what I want you to understand. Some people, some of these guys, they want you to help them raise them children that they done made on the outside with these no good ass women that they done laying around with. They 50 some years old. So that means that when he was in his late 40s, he laid up with this chick. And she was probably younger than him too. Probably strung out on drugs, because anytime the father has custody of the child, and especially if it's a little girl, usually there's an issue with the baby mama being unstable. And he didn't mind running up into that unstable chick and getting her pregnant. But now that that unstable chick left him with that baby, now reality and life done hit him. He 51 years old. He too old to be chasing that little 2-year-old around. So now here he see you, you know, you're older, and he thinks you're more settled. So he done pegged you to be a good candidate for a caregiver for himself and that 2-year-old. And like I said, if that's something that you want to sign up for, I think it's a beautiful thing. I encourage blended families. But I'm going to tell you the reason why a lot of older women say that they are happily single. If this is what I'm having to meet at the wall, because I'm telling you, when they talk about women hitting the wall, right there at the wall is that 51-year-old dude with that 2-year-old baby. You're meeting these bargain bin niggas at the wall too. And so this is what you are wading, through. You're wading through stuff like this. That's why I say being picked last is not a flex. It's not. D. Real said, right, playful and idealistic. We knew that we were going to get married. Exactly. And it's a beautiful thing when it happens like that. Now, when you're older, you're more jaded. That's another thing. You're not idealistic anymore. You're more jaded, set in your ways. I'm jaded. I'm set in my ways. 51-year-old dude approaching me with the 2-year-old is a no-no. I'm not trying to start over. I like my freedom. I like getting up and the only person I got to cook for is me. I like that shit. I like no drama. What's up, Can't Hide? One of my long time watchers here. A lot of y'all up tonight. What y'all doing up tonight? Thought I was the only night owl here. I fully expected to just be talking to myself. But I love you guys. I love the fact that you guys are here. So, I want to impart this to you because I don't see any other female content creators laying it out like this. But when women say, I'm happily single, I want to put that in perspective for some of you as to some of the reasons why we're happily single. Me, if I have to look at 51-year-old with the 2-year-old, after I done went through raising all my kids and dealing with a husband that passed away from cancer, and all of that I had to go through, I lived. dude, you 51 and you look like you might be broken down. I done just got through being a caregiver. I done just got through raising my kids. I'm not trying to start over and be your caregiver and raise your 2-year old. So this is the reason why Faith can say, I'm happily single. I'll pass. Thank you. On to the next. And so it becomes increasingly harder and harder to wrap your mind around settling down when you're at the wall going through the bargain bin. These bargain bin Negroes. It's hard. I want the same. You know what I'm saying? Like I will settle for a guy that, hey, we're both old, we're both in good shape, we both in good health, and both of us have kids and they're grown and they're gone. Like now, if I can strike a deal like that, it might be on. But most of the time, when you're at the wall and you're going through the bargain bin of the leftovers, it's just like picking teams all over again for a sport in grammar school. Damn, this person can't hit worth a shit. But if I pick him, he can't run. And if I pick this one, he can't catch. It's just kind of like, God damn. God damn. So that's why I said in the last stream, being picked last, not a flex. You always want to be picked first, and you want to go through the aging process and the growing and the creating of the baggage together, because it's both of your baggage. Deterrell and his wife, them kids is their kids. You see what I'm saying? And they knew each other while they was young, and they got used to each other. So if they grow old and they got some aches and some pains, they don't really mind, because they are comfortable with each other, and they're going to take care of each other because they've been together a long time. But when you meet somebody at 40 and 50 and y'all ain't really went through nothing together, you meeting this person and they start coming to you talking about something. Oh, I got a bad diagnosis from the doctor. I got cancer. And you just meeting this person, and now right out the gate, you got to start taking care of them. That's that bullshit. I'm going to be honest. That's that bullshit. Ken Hyde says, that's ideal, but it's not the norm these days. It's not. It really isn't, especially not for Black women. Like I said, we tend to marry older anyway in our group. And so this is what we're dealing with. And so when these guys be sitting up here talking about something, oh, y'all not single by choice. I just sat up here and gave you several reasons why a lot of us are single by choice. I sat here and gave you several reasons. Now, a younger woman, I would have to, question that. But I know why the older women are. We don't really want to be bothered with that shit. I'm just going to be honest. And the ones that do, they really, really, really just want to be married, and they just want to, have somebody's last name and experience, saying that, hey, I got this guy. And there's nothing wrong with that either. There's no right or wrongs. I just want everybody to go in eyes wide open. So if you're dating later in life, ladies, know this, he's going to come with the aches and the pains, and you might have to be rubbing that muscle, medicine on him, muscle relaxers and all that type of stuff, and get him the therapeutic massagers and all that other stuff. Cause yeah, they old. I'm just gonna be honest with you. They old. Ken Hyde said, yeah, pretty much. I'm a geriatric millennial and I'm good. I'm right there with you. I mean, whew, I'm telling y'all, people be getting on here just telling the biggest lies they want to tell. They make everything look like it's peaches and cream. And I just be wanting to just kind of lay it out and just be like, okay, this is what you really looking at once you peel back the layers. Because life is an onion. It's an onion. You got to peel back the layers to get to the core. And the whole core of the matter of a lot of women saying that they are happily single past the age of 35 is that now we're at the age where we see what the pickings are. And it's not that these guys are bad people. I don't want to sit up here and say that these are bad people. It's just that when people get old, they break down. And some of these guys are still out here, don't have dick control. And so they're still having babies in their late 40s and early 50s. And so you may run into the 51-year-old like I did that has the 2-year-old. And that's just the honest to God truth of what we as women are dealing with. So, we don't talk about the guys that hit the wall. When we think of the wall, we only think of women. But just think about it. There's a lot of women standing at that wall who used to be single mothers, but their children are grown. Most of the time, we as women, we're having our kids young. So by the time we hit our prime or our mid 40s or 50s, our kids are grown and gone. So standing at that wall are women that are older and don't have that baggage anymore. But at the wall with us are men who are older and they still out here making these damn big head ass babies. And they got the child support while they talking about our student loans. And the child support lasts a good 18 to 25 years. BMT said, I talk shit from the wall. BMT, you and D. Durrell are not at the wall. You and D. Durrell are happily married men. You all have your wives, so you all are not at the wall. You guys got settled down in your prime. And that's what I'm trying to tell people. Young people, especially you all that are on this here internet. It's going to be a lot of assholes up here, a lot of old, unhappy, misery love company motherfuckers that's going to deter, especially you young men, from getting married while you're young. And I'm trying to tell you, it's better if you do it while you're young. Grow old with your wife, like BMT and D. Durrell. That is the best case scenario. Don't be none of these old ass niggas on YouTube standing at the wall with your child support check and these 2-year-old babies and you 50 years old. Because women like me don't want you. You see what I'm saying? It's going to be like you standing at the wall holding your child support check and holding the hand of your 2-year-old, like that 51-year-old guy approached me the other day. And Faith, like, I'm straight. I'm happily single. I'm happy and single. I'm happily single. And that's the reason why we're happily single. Because we looking at that. Like, I don't want that. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to start over. Because it to us, it symbolizes raising kids again. That's what it symbolizes. Now, like I said, there's some women that don't mind starting over. And if that is your ministry, do that. But don't make it seem like it's going to be something that's going to be appealing for everybody, because it's not. What's up, Mike Johnson in the house? Right, can't hide, trying to make you the step baby mama. And I can't tell you how many of these knucklehead old ass men go out here and knock up some young girl. And usually these young girls be having psychological issues, emotional issues, drug issues. I be sitting up here like the 51-year-old that approached me. He has a damn good job. And he went and knocked up some chick that's younger than him, and she's a drug addict. Like, it's I kid you not. When you get with some of these older guys, they get with these younger girls. If they're not drug addicts, if you get to, know them long enough, they got some kind of psychological, emotional issue. Ain't got time for that shit. Who got time to be dealing with a crazy baby mama? Oh, hell no, Mike Johnson, not me. Shit. Who somebody told you wrong. I am nobody's step baby mama. Hell to the no, no, no. Ken Hyde said they still not trying to marry you, just want a step baby mama. Exactly. But actually, if it will help them, help take that burden off of them, a lot of these guys will put a ring on your finger if they think that you're going to be there to take care of them or take care of whatever burden they have that they don't want to deal with by themselves. They will marry you for that. That's when they give you the ring. After they're past their prime, after they done just hit the wall themselves, and their health is failing, or they're out there 51 years old holding this 2-year old because they done knocked up the local crackhead. Yeah, they'll do it. Won't they do it? Then all of a sudden niggas are all over the place bending over. And when they bend over, you got to help them back up because they so old and decrepit. Now that's one proposal I don't want. I don't want the old man proposal where you all on your dusty ass knee, you know, after you done got old, please, please. Right, the hand-me-down ring, that probably the ring he had with his first wife. So when you see a lot of women that's like in their 40s, 50s, like Deborah Cooper, she don't have no chill on telling these niggas what it is. And I really, really appreciate her and her pithy words of wisdom. I got reconnected with her the other day. Sister George reminded me that she was doing content. But she's an older lady in her 60s, and Deborah, she don't pull no punches. And so, in the spirit of Deborah, I have to, keep it going because there aren't enough women my age out here telling the truth about, marrying at this age. It's not a flex. So now if you finally did get picked, like I said in the other video, congratulations. We happy for you. We'll throw rice at your wedding. We'll celebrate, we'll dance. But after that, go sit your ass down somewhere and shut the fuck up. Because if you're going to turn around and use it as a flex on an unmarried woman, especially a younger woman, now see, ain't nothing like a older I just got married chick trying to flex on a young woman, especially if the woman is young. Now I could kind of see you turning around flexing on other older women that may want to be in your position. It might be a flex, if you're comparing apples to apples. But if you're trying to flex on the unmarried younger woman, if that unmarried younger woman gets married 2-3 years later, she still did better than you. That's the reason why, once again, the flex just isn't there. That's the reason why I would say if you older and you got married past 35 and all this other stuff, just take your wedding ring and sit the fuck down and shut the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not a flex. It really isn't. And you can't tell nobody nothing about, how to do it and all this other stuff. You couldn't do it in your prime. If you couldn't do it in your prime and you're the last motherfucker out on the dance floor before the song went off, you don't have no nana nana boo boo rights. I'm sorry. I'm just telling the truth, can't hide. I'm trying to tell the truth, and this is not about nobody in particular. This is just me coming on here just telling the honest to God raw ass truth about what it actually fucking is. Yeah, that's what they'll say, Faith. They'll say, Faith, you being mean. Oh, Faith, how you doing that to us? How you calling us Suge Avery? How you saying this to us? Well, I'm sorry, y'all, but I'm gonna have to be that mean ass bitch because I think it's meaner when a chick sit up here and try to sell it like it's the best thing since sliced bread. And to be honest with you, all you did was get that bargain bin ass nigga that you met at the wall. Both of y'all done lived. Both of y'all got baggage. And y'all met at the motherfucking wall. His motherfucking ass was on the dance floor a few times and he just didn't, pick nobody. And so at the last minute before he croak and die, he picked your ass because you're the best caregiver. So now if that's being mean, so be it. Mike Johnson says, Faith, you're being hard on that guy. Maybe you just got to life together. What? You got to live together. Sometimes it happens like that. Mike, I'm gonna tell you this one time. I'm gonna tell all y'all this one time. See, Faith ain't finna be doing no 2-year-old shit. I'm sorry, but that nigga is 51 with a 2-year-old. That right there is a danger. 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 Get off the floor. I'm sitting up here like, hell no. You do you know that I got a picture of myself when I climbed Mount Mormon. And that was when me and CK were together. And I went down Mount Mormon. I was so happy. I was skipping because I was so happy I got to the top. And as I was skipping down the mountain, I broke my ACL. Mike, I'm getting old. My bones are so old now that I can't even skip down the mountain without breaking my ACL. What the fuck am I going to do with a 2-year-old now? And see, these older guys in their 50s, and this is what happened. The younger women, and I'm proud of the younger women, the younger women ain't going. The younger women don't even want to be your stepmama. Tracy says, if it was such a hot ticket, why the baby daddy didn't marry the baby mama? I'd rather marry someone than put my body on the line and be attached to them for life. You just spoke bars. Thank you, Tracy. Let me go ahead and give you your respect for coming in here with the common goddamn sense. Can't have say you broke your ass and your ACL. Girl, yes, I did. I was skipping down that mountain, broke my ass, broke my ACL. So imagine me trying to chase behind a 2-year-old now. I did that in my prime. I had all my kids in my 20s. Those and doctors will tell you it's better for you to have your children young, like in your 20s, with your husband who's also in his 20s. Yeah, y'all can in your 20s, y'all can chase them little 2-3-year-olds around. You got energy. All y'all got energy. The 40s and 50s, I'm ready to go sit my ass down somewhere and watch Fox News. I'm I'm just be honest with you. I'm ready to just go sit my ass down somewhere, watch Fox News. Two-year-old. So, when women sit up here and they're in their 30, they're like 35, 40-ish, 50-ish, and they're saying, hey, I'm happily single. That's true. That, these are the reasons. Right, can't have. My energy is reserved for my fire pit and my wine. Girl, you got a fire pit? Sounds cozy. Well, see, me, I like to sit out on my patio. I like to have my glass of Stella Rosa Black. That's my wine. Or I like a little shot of honey Hennessy. Hennessy honey. I like a little shot of Hennessy honey, or a little apple what's the name of that daggone drink? Apple Crown Royal. Little Apple Crown Royal sometimes, I don't do a lot of drinking because that stuff is bad for you. But every now and then I like to chill, play a little jazz, play a little I like my soul R&B music, my little how can I say the R&B music from the 80s and the 90s is my favorite. Some old Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson has some real good love songs back before he got all that surgery. It's this one song that he did called Lady in My Life. I'll sit out there on my patio and I'll play that old Michael Jackson song. There'll be no darkness tonight. Lady, your love will shine. Light up the night. I love that song, Lady. That I'm a go ahead and play that song tonight before I go to bed. I love that song. Yeah, Michael Jackson has some really nice little hits. Ken I said, that's my idea of a good time. I sit my ass down somewhere and chill. That's what I'm talking about. And you start to understand a little bit more about being alone with yourself when you're older. So, when you're older, you don't experience that I'm lonely. I don't know. I can't speak for everybody, but I can speak for myself. I like being with myself. Don't get me wrong now. I like being with a man too. Like when CK and I were together, he and I had some really good times. But I like also being with myself. You like those times when I'm out there on my patio and I'm listening to my slow jams and I'm just sipping my wine and, taking in a night breeze. I am chill. I'm good. I'm not missing out on nothing because I remember when I couldn't do that. I remember when my children were young and I would have this one running in, mama, mama, this, that, the other happened. Somebody in the other room fighting, tearing up the room, or, bills, 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 and, paying for this trip, paying for that one. I had so much going on, raising my children, that now that I'm in my 40s and I'm by myself and there's just peace and quiet and serenity in my home. I don't want to go backwards and have to deal with nobody 2-year old all over again. I like being a grandma. I like when the children come visit, and then I know there's a time when the parent is going to come and get their kid and leave. I like that. I rather enjoy that now. Nook says, so I'm 34 with no job, no career. Say in the next 5, 10, I learn a trade, my life together, but now I'm in my 40s, single with no kids. Should I then settle for a woman with kids? So hold on a second. That's really a personal decision for yourself, Nook. I mean, that's what I'm telling the women. Like some of the ladies that marry when they're older, they're marrying guys that have, children, or they're marrying guys that have health issues. And so every person got to, make that decision if that's something that they want to take on. Is your love for that person that strong? Right, Ken has. It's up to you. It's up to you. The only thing that I'm doing and my only mission tonight is to just lay it down here on the line that these are the things that you're going to come up against when you're older talking about getting married. You got to deal with the health issues and you got to deal with whatever baggage this person came in with because they have lived the same way that you have lived. And those of us that can make it to our 40s and 50s with the least amount of baggage, you the GOAT. If you making it to your 40s and your 50s and you're financially secure, your kids are grown and gone, and you want to remarry again, you're kind of free and clear. Like I'm still looking for an older guy that fits the bill like that. Like, dude, like, are you coming up in here the same way I'm coming up in here? I'm coming up in here with no baggage. I want you to come up in here with no baggage. Like, I want your kid, my kids are grown and gone, and I want your kids to be grown and gone too. I don't want to start over again. Hey, I take care of my body and I take care of my health. I want you to have been taking care of your body and taking care of your health. Like, can it be matchy matchy? But most of these guys, y'all, I don't know what's going on with these older men, but y'all don't be taking care of yourselves. You go into your old age and it's just like, what the fuck? Like, I can deal with a little arthritis, you know what I'm saying? Because we all gonna probably get that. Ain't nothing wrong with a little arthritis. But y'all be coming up in here to cancer, erectile dysfunction, you know. I'm just gonna tell the truth about what we're getting. This is what you're getting. And see, I wouldn't mind all that if you were the husband of my youth. and we just grew old together, and we racked up that baggage together. But I don't want to just be meeting you and I'm like, hello, cancer. Hello, erectile dysfunction. Hello, this motherfucker don't want to do shit. Ken Haas says, I like a little bit of a belly too. You know what? I'm starting to get funny, about that, because it's funny that you say the little bit of a belly. I'm starting to like a little chubby guy. They're very warm. They're very warm and comforting. I used to like the little skinny guys, but I don't know. Is there something about a little chubby guy with a belly? I don't know. But you're right about that, Ken Hatter. There's something about those guys. Very, very comforting. You lay up in their arms and they be so warm, and it just feels so soothing, and you just fall straight to sleep. It's like you being held by a big old teddy bear, big old soft teddy bear. Yeah, little belly is nothing wrong with that. Yeah, actually, those guys are pretty sexy, built like linebackers. Yeah, so the in case some of you guys didn't know, some of you guys with the belly, y'all can get it. There are those of us that kind of like that. But the only problem with that can't hide is the health issues. Yeah, they come with some health issues. They're a little diabetic, the diabetes is not sexy. Yeah. And yeah, I'm gonna have to go back with my lean, mean sex machine, because those guys do come with health issues, especially when they get older. And it's a damn shame too, because I love to cook. I love to cook, and those guys love to eat. And I love to put the plate in front of them, and they're just gobbling up the food, and you're just like, yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, you said no Buddha bellies. Okay, all right. Well, we on the same page. You said not too much belly, no Buddha belly. Okay, okay. I can dig that. I can dig it. So you like a guy that's shaped like a banana or a pickle. But anyway, guys, I wanted to come on here and just have this late night ranting. It wasn't even really a rant, it's just basically an open and honest conversation that don't have shit to do with nobody. And it's not a personal attack on anybody. I don't want nobody running up in here. Oh, Faith, you're being mean and personally attacking people, and and all this other stuff. I promise you, this stream is not about you, whoever you are. I don't know. Like every time I do a stream, somebody will hit me up in the back chats or in my email or, Faith, was you talking about me? Like, no. Why did you think I'm talking about you? I'm not even thinking about you. This y'all so vain. I promise you. But anyway, pickle banana. Yep. All right, y'all. It's going on 12 o'clock over here. I guess I done talked myself to sleep. Thank you all for hanging out with me. I'm about to lay down, get my little Z's in, and sleep like a little princess. So I'll see you guys later on. I might fire up a live stream tomorrow. We'll see. Right. You're so vain. I bet you think this stream is about you. Don't you? Don't you? Good night, Mella. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Let me cue the outro. Peace. Love each and every one of you. Holla.